So yeah, I thought I'd do a video on being creative, being creative minded. Look, I don't know what, how this video is going to turn out. It might turn out to be quite shit, but what influenced me to make this video is just been on the phone to my mum and we can talk about random shit and what women do. They can spoon feed you. No disrespect to my mum, like I love her to bits and she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, but sometimes they can come out with some, to put it bluntly, some bollocks where they just spoon feed you shit like, oh, you're creative minded. And just some of the stuff I was talking about on that phone call, it's made me influence to make this video. Like, this could be quite interesting and reasonable to talk about. But being creative, and I believe that the only reason I got pushed into the creative arts, the creative industry shit, because at school I was probably I wasn't really good at anything else, and the teachers saw that I probably had some potential, if anything, in the creative arts. Like I could be good at that. Where I used to be told I was good at drawing, like I had a skill in drawing. I used to draw a lot as a kid. I used to be imaginative, as I've made a video about being imaginative, making up my own films, making up my own worlds, like football teams, imagining this, making up that. Like that's just how my brain worked as a kid, which is probably seen as a bit different from normal, probably. And yeah, I got pushed into the creative arts as I did. Well, I was told that I should have done arts at GCSE level, but I didn't do it because I had a bit of a falling out with the teacher and I just decided not to do it for whatever reason and decided, but I did like graphic design and some IT sort of course, which if anything I got something out of it at GCSE level because I didn't really do well in my GCSEs because I probably weren't really that good at anything else. And I decided, like, I got pushed into the creative stuff in like college and university, where I did art and design at college. Did okay with that, had my problems there. Probably was more serious about it as an ambition than most of the other people on that course. And I did an animation degree. And I felt like I was pushed into that because I weren't really good at anything else and it's not paid off. So people saying, oh, you're creative and you're creative minded is basically spoon feeding me bollocks. I think at the minute I've got that opinion where I think a lot of people spoon feed me bollocks and probably talk down to me like I'm some fucking retard or some fucking spastic. But maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. And I've got my degree. I got a 2-1 second class degree. I got my education, but it's not paid off. And I believe it's all bollocks. Like I've lost faith in the system. I think the system's just spoon fed me bollocks my whole life. And whatever, if I was ever that good at art anyway, maybe it's proven I am because I got a degree out of it. That it's not paid off, but that's probably signs that I probably wasn't ever that good anyway. Like I was okay, I was probably about average or just about above average at best. Because I think there was a lot more talented, skillful people than I am. And of course, they just had the knowledge to use the skills in the real world where I didn't. And I did take like a serious interest like the last decade in the arts around like the 2010s as I got into people like Banksy, street art, Shepard Fairey, which introduced me into a bit of art history like the pop, probably more like contemporary art history like pop art like Andy Warhol, neo-expressionism like Jean-Michel Basquiat, where I was probably more interested in the person and the character Jean-Michel Basquiat than his art, probably. Even though I appreciated his art to a level. And so on, and I got into films, probably like obscure films like independent cinema, like, I don't know, I was into Danny Boyle, like, I don't know, because he comes from a bit of a British cult indie background, like Trainspotting and Shallow Grave. Fucking, I don't know, other films. I was getting quite deep into cinema. And other things like music, as I used to be into the Stone Roses, Oasis, The Verve. Got into a few other bands like, I don't know, who else did I get into? Fucking. Don't know why there's a fucking ambulance, I don't know if they're after me because I'm talking. Well, I got into a few other bands and stuff, and stuff like that, and yeah, and I'm just thinking about it now, like after leaving education and stuff. I don't think I've ever been that creative. Like, yeah, I've done a few projects like making my own music. I was working on an animated film which has been shelved, and it's usually it just leads to nothing. Nobody's interested, or not a lot of people are interested in it. And that's a current theme when it comes to me being creative, where I just feel like I do it and nobody's interested in it. So it's like, what's the point? Like, I'm an appreciator of the creative arts. Like, I got into my graphic novels a bit because of like the visual side. I've got a few creative ambitions, but I just usually feel like the world's set me up to not succeed in being creative. Where I think the way the system and the world has set me up to fail in that, I think. And that's just the brutal, honest truth about it. Might prove me wrong one day, hopefully I am wrong, but the brutal honest truth, the way this world is, you're not supported in being creative, you're supported to be the opposite. You set up to be a wage slave to the system, being miserable in your job, which a job that would just get taken over by AI eventually. And that's just the brutal honest truth, and I've just come to accept that. Where the harsh reality is, that's just harsh reality. And I was telling my mum, I don't know if I'm that creative because I'm not really motivated to be creative that much. If I was, I'd be creative 24/7, and I'm not. Only have little motivation to be creative, and usually it leads to nothing. Like the most recent thing is making electronic music, and it's led to fuck all basically. At best, I might make $2 in a year, and it's just next to fuck all. I've got, like at the minute, I'm getting into my graphic novels and my stories. Like I bought the Lord of the Rings books recently, and I've maybe thinking about writing my own novel, maybe going towards the graphic novel end of stuff, where I might try and come up with a concept. Like I quite like the idea of something like, what if I did something like The Crow, but it was set in like Manchester or Northwest England, where it's a bit different, but that's just early stages. But usually I'm not really motivated enough to do it. Because I kind of know the outcome, where it'll just lead to nothing. But yeah, and that's, I don't know, that's why I'm not really that creative, I'd say. Not really. Like I'm not motivated a lot of the time to be creative. It's just people spoon feeding me bollocks or fucking talking down to me like I'm some fucking retard. That's what it seems anyway, or I question anyway. But yeah, I'm not sure if I've got anything else to say about that. So yeah, catch you in another video. Goodbye.